Morning people, how are we doing today? In this episode I am going to take you around the Périphérique. Lots of people have a bit of a aversion to the Périphérique. Basically it's the ring road around Paris. Périphérique literally translated means on the outside, so the peripheral. So this being the peripheral of your vision, what you can see out the side of your eye. So if you have that in your mind, basically what you're doing is going around the outside of something. Now, it's not called the Périphérique because it's Paris. It is a French name for the outside of something. So for example, if you go around any major city, I don't know, Cannes, you will come to a sign that says the Périphérique. So it's not to do with it being Paris, it's just the outside. I'm coming at this from Belgium side, so I'm coming down the A1, and which is kind of the Calais side. So I've put little maps at the beginning to show the way I'm going. Normally I head straight into Paris and go around the inner Périphérique, but because my sat nav does tell me which way is the best because of the traffic, it's taken me around the outer Périphérique. So if you think of it's more like going around London and going around the 406. So it's like an interior ring road. So you may be going on different road numbers, but basically you're going around the outside. You'll see what I mean by the little maps. Don't be worried about it. It's full of lunatics. It's the only way I can put it. It's full of people trying to go somewhere in a real hurry, exactly the same as any other main city. But unfortunately, because it's in the centre of France, if you want to go anywhere, you have to go through it or take big detours to get around it. So it's not like, say, Dublin. If you come into Dublin, you go outside it to get to the other side. You don't have to go through the city. Whereas if you want to come from north to south, you can go a different way. You don't have to go through Dublin. London is down the bottom right hand corner of the UK, so to get to Portsmouth you don't have to go anywhere near London. So there's a lot of places that you can avoid, but the trouble with France is that Paris is in the middle. So if you want to go from that way to that way, or that way to that way, or that way to that way, unless you plan your route so you can go far that side or far that side, you're going to end up going through this central city. Parisians don't see themselves, well, they are French, but what they will say is we are Parisians. We are Parisians first, exactly the same way as a lot of Londoners would not see themselves as British. They will see themselves as Londoners. Doesn't make any difference to me. They're all French or they're all British, you know. But they are a law unto themselves. So have a bit of patience with yourself. Concentrate on what you're doing, but don't be intimidated. Remember the size of your vehicle, and remember you're just passing through. So these people are trying to get home, these people are trying to do their jobs as well. So don't get yourself in a tiz. Give yourself plenty of time and get to the side. Morning folks, first job of the day, always tea. Today's adventure is getting around Paris. We want the A10, which is the other side of where we are now. Normally I go down and use the inner ring road, but as you can see by all the red lines, it's really busy. So the sat nav has recalculated to go round the outer ring road. As you can see, lots of red lines, but that's the nature of Paris, always busy. Now you could look at your map book or your sat nav. As you can see, it's not as busy going round that top way, but you can't go round that way with anything over 2 metres. This bit here on that route is a 2-metre tunnel, and the diversion round it takes you absolutely miles out the way. Well, here we are on our way down. These big tunnel stroke bridges that we're going underneath is Charles de Gaulle Airport. We're actually going underneath the runways, and it really makes you jump when a plane starts landing on you. We started this morning, so on our tachograph we've got 4.5 hours to get around Paris. And what I recommend, like this driver's doing, is before you hit any big city, oh there's another one there, have your break. Give yourself 4.5 hours to get round, whether it's London, whether it's Paris, whether it's Munich, whether it's Milan, wherever it is. Always give yourself as much time as possible, so when you get around you're not then struggling to have your 45 minutes, because quite often there's nowhere to stop. And although the sat-nav GPS says traffic's all right at the moment, because it's a city, that can change really quickly. So here we are. This is our first exit. This is heading on to the actual ring road. As you'll notice, what we're doing is heading for Bordeaux, and you will see the furthest away place is always at the top of the French sign. So we just keep heading for Bordeaux, Lyon, and just keep picking up those signs, and that will take you around the outside ring road. No matter what the number of the road, follow those signs. These overhead signs are telling you how long it is to get to that road that's numbered, and what you will see is that it will come up sort of the road number, and then it will say plus 15 minutes, plus 10 minutes, and that will be the delay on it. Still following the signs. This sign here that's flashing, it says to the A3 23 minutes, and that there's a queue, Bouchon is queue in 3,000 metres, 3 kilometres.
Is now 16 minutes. New arrival time 8:03 p.m. You are still on the fastest route.
So my GPS does find the fastest routes for me. As you can hear, another 16-minute delay. It will update me through, and it will divert me around if I'm not on the fastest route. As you can see, traffic building up, marvellous. And these motorbikes that cut, I see them in the mirror, but they do make you jump sometimes. When you're concentrating on going forward, they whiz up the outside here. There you go, and it does make you jump. can see this guy come up the slip road. Just come up the slip road, and I can see knew he was going to do something dumb. Straight across in front of me, straight to the outside lane. That's how they are. He'll want to come back again in a minute. You watch. Watch. He's going to do something. There you go. And that's what they do. They go backwards and forwards in front of you, and you're better off just letting them do it. And at the end of the day, they know the roads better than you do. So just let them do it. Don't get wound up about it. I can see a bike coming. Loud pipes save lives. This lane swapper in front got a bit of a Christmas tree going on with his lights, hasn't he? So the original lane swapper is now back where he started, and the other guy from the outside lane is now on the inside lane. You know, all for that 3 seconds in front. Now the GPS is telling me we want to be in the right hand lane about 2 miles up here. Although there's no rush, I'm going to pull over now, get in the lane that I need, and then it gives me plenty of time. Now this may sound slightly racist, but the French do not show the common courtesies to lorries that we tend to show in the UK. They will not let you pull in front of them. So if you give yourself enough time to get into the right lane, because don't expect them to do it in the last minute. They will pull in front of you last minute, but they will not show you the same courtesies. So this is one of the reasons why you give yourself 4.5 hours to get round. Apart from the traffic, you don't want to get yourself wound up. I mean, you can see how they're swapping lanes, they're moving around in front of you. So you've got a fully loaded Arctic and you can't stop it in a rush. They don't understand. And so they just pull across in front of you. You can see how fluid they are between lanes, the lane swappers. And they'll do that all the way round. Slip road on my right hand side, and you can see the triangle sign telling them to give way, but they just keep coming. There's another one coming up and he'll cut straight in front of me because he's got nowhere else to go. But I'm sure it's supposed to be adjust your speed to the flow of the traffic when you're joining, but no, it's just straight across in front of you. So this is why we changed lane, because we want to be in one of these two lanes. The two lanes that we were on go straight on, and we want to come off at this junction. So the two lanes coming up our right will be turning off. So third lane is the slip road on. It just means getting into the correct lane right back there is now meaning that we are in one of the correct lanes. So we haven't got to worry about swapping over and trying to get into one of these other lanes. Yeah, they're going to be coming backwards and forwards in front of us, but we're in the correct lane. We just stay where we are. So as you can see in front of us, we've got a learner in French. An A is the same as an L plate, because in French a learner is an amateur. My best French, that is. So as with all learners, amateurs, be prepared for something daft to happen. Give them a bit of space, they are still learning. Mind you could say that with some of the lorry drivers around here. Look, couldn't get in the right lane behind and now just decides he wants to push in. Let him go. So you can see in front, we want to be in these two lanes. The other lane goes off to the right. So at least changing lanes all the way back there, we're in a correct lane now. Yes, I'll let the horn speak for me. Not only did he pull in front of me at the last second, he also pulled across the other lorry that's coming past him. You can't be up to him, you have to just keep your wits about you. There's a motorbike coming up the outside, straight across the chevron. There's a car coming as well now. Indicator on, give him some room. Straight into the inside lane, leave him to it. Another kamikaze bike, just made that one. What gets me about, I mean, I ride a motorbike, my sister rides a motorbike, all my family have got bike licenses, but what gets me in traffic like this is that they put the hazard lights on and think it makes them indestructible. Lorry's driver's supposed to be a professional as well. Another chevron jumper. Just can't seem to plan ahead of themselves. They come over the chevrons and jump in front of everything. see this lorry on the hard shoulder in front of us? I don't know if you noticed earlier, but they came around the outside of us. So obviously not planned ahead, not giving themselves 4.5 hours to get through Paris. So now they've had to pull on the hard shoulder to have a 45-minute break. So we're still following the Bordeaux signs. It'll come up over your head. So if you look at the signs, there's 2 arrows, the 2 lanes that head towards Bordeaux. The one on the right hand side is what is the hard shoulder at the moment. It is used at really busy times as a lane, but only when the overhead arrow is pointing at that lane. These cars are not supposed to be in it at this moment, only when the lane is opened. So you go from lane jumpers to motorbikes that don't know what lane they want to be in. So people think that Spaghetti Junction and those sort of places are busy, but this is the nature of a ring road. Every lanes come, they go, people cut across, they cut back, and there is always something going to be coming up one side of you or the other. You have to keep your wits about you. As you can see, just more lanes coming up from what appears to be nowhere, but obviously they come from somewhere. But these green is a national road, blue is classed as motorway, but break down on any of it and it's going to cost you a fortune. Didn't we see that yellow lorry earlier, right at the very beginning? Or was it a different one? They're breeding, yellow lorries are breeding.
Freedom that
So like I said at the very beginning, no matter what the number of the road is, as you can see, they change, but we are still heading for Bordeaux and Lyon. And then the Lyon sign goes because we've passed that turning, and we're still heading for the National 10. And this is the final bit before we get to the National 10. This actually little bit of road here is the National 10, but it's right at the very top of it. And that's us, officially around Paris. This is the National 10, a little bit more traffic, but everything clears up from now on. So I hope you've enjoyed this one. Please don't forget to give me a thumbs up, ring the little bell, you'll get notifications of when I'm back on again, and subscribe if you haven't already. Take care everyone out there, and I'll see you soon.